I am coming to you live from Cana, the scene of a most extraordinary event. A wedding has taken place over the past few days, and it is here that a miracle has occurred. Yes, I did say the word miracle. Let's now hear from some of the wedding guests and find out exactly what has happened.
I just can't quite believe it happened, actually. I mean, we were having the most amazing time. There was lots of food and dancing and music. And then I think I heard Mary say something about they'd run out of wine. At first I thought it couldn't be true. There must be some mistake. I'd been at lots of weddings and it never happened before. But Jesus was there and he turned 6 jars of water into wine. I saw it with my own eyes. Amazing. Jesus is so powerful. He really is God's Son, and I am going to put my trust in him.
Well, I don't know what to say. I still actually can't believe it. I seen it with my own eyes. The wedding, it was fabulous. It was brilliant. And Mary said they had ran out of wine. And Jesus told the servants to go and fill 6 jars of water. Now, we were really confused because we thought, why would Jesus ask to fill jars of water at a wedding? But then when the host poured the jars of water, it was the most delicious wine I had ever tasted. It was nicer than the wine previous in the day. It was amazing. I seen it with my own eyes. Jesus is so powerful. He truly is the Son of God, and I am going to put my trust in him.
I cannot believe my eyes. I've just seen Jesus turn 6 jars of water into wine. Water into wine right before my eyes. Jesus really is so powerful. He really is the Son of God. I'm going to follow Jesus and put my trust in him.
Another amazing report of today's events in Cana. Louise has clearly been changed by what she has witnessed today. This surely is an amazing moment in history. Is it a miracle? Is it possible to turn water into wine? We have a series of experts and we are going to ask them that very same question. Can they turn water into wine? Our first is our scientific expert, Julie Einstein, and we ask you, can you, with all your scientific knowledge, turn water into wine? Thank you. Now, what an interesting phenomenon. What an interesting question. My research would suggest that no, absolutely, it is not possible to turn water into wine. Now, we can change water into plenty of things. We can change water into ice. You simply pop it in the freezer. We can change water into steam or vapour just by popping it into the kettle. However, water into wine, I'm pretty sure that's a no. I've just been having a little experiment in my laboratory here, but okay. Well, I think this conclusively proves that no, you cannot turn water into wine, and I certainly will not be drinking this. Back to you. Thank you. I think it is clear to our viewers that it has not been possible to turn water into wine, even with all the chemicals available in this laboratory. Let us now go to world famous magician Julie McGee and see if magic can turn water into wine. Yes, it is I, the great Julie McGee, and I can 100% not turn water into wine. Let me show you. All you need is a glass and some water, and we simply pour the water into the glass like so, and then on the count of 3 we will turn the water into wine. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and the water has become wine. As easy as that. Back to you. Have we stopped filming? Whew. The longer the trick goes on, the easier it is to see how I did it. I wonder how many people actually fall for that whole water into wine trick. All you need is a trick glass with a bit of water and a bit of juice on the other side. Absolutely impossible to turn water into wine. I mean, what a crazy question. Tell you what though, if I could turn water into anything, I would turn water into slur at Christmas time and make an absolute fortune water into wine. I've heard everything now. What do you mean? We're still filming? All the viewers heard what I just said? Oh. Well, that was embarrassing, but there you have it. Our world famous magician cannot turn water into wine. The best that Julie McGee can do is to use a trick glass. Let's go to another expert, Julie Woolley, an expert in the world of food and drink. If anyone can change water into wine, surely it must be Julie Woolley. Good evening and welcome to the Great Dundrod Bake Off with me, Julie Woolley. And tonight, bakers, sorry, wrong programme. Now, can I turn water into wine? Well, that is a very good question. I think the only way to find out is to look up my world famous cookbook. So let's have a look. Let's go to W for water. W, watercraft chicken, whole roast fillet of beef. Well, that sounds nice. No, it's not under W for water. So let's look up wine. So that's also W. No, according to my book, no, I can't turn water into wine. But what I can do is make you a lovely summer fruits. Some water and a little bit of summer fruits. Gorgeous. Other brands are available. No, water into wine, okay. No, but can I interest you in some orange and pineapple? Just water, a little bit of my waddy, and there we have it, a lovely drink of orange and pineapple. No. Oh, well, as it happens, no. I cannot turn water into wine. I can turn eggs and sugar into a lovely pavlova, but I cannot turn water into wine. In fact, no one can turn water into wine. It is absolutely 100% impossible. It cannot be done. Cup of tea? Well, it is very clear that a miracle has indeed taken place today. Jesus has done something amazing that no one else could. A miracle is something that only God can do. And Jesus has performed a miracle in Cana. Jesus has turned water into wine. It cannot be explained by science. We cannot use chemicals to change water. But Jesus did it with God's power. It cannot be done with magic. It is not a trick. Jesus performed a miracle. There were no trick glasses. Jesus achieved this with God's power. There is no question that Jesus has indeed performed a miracle. People have seen it and people have tasted for themselves. The real question is, what will you and what will I do because of this miracle? I know what I will do. I will follow Jesus and I will put my trust in him. Jesus is powerful. We have seen that today. And I will trust and I will follow him. What will you do? Will you trust Jesus?
797, 798, 790. Oh, hi. Oh, sorry. You caught me off guard there, just doing a few wee exercises. So, can you remember what we learnt last week? Have you been practicing your memory first? Shall we give it a go? John chapter 3 verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son. Very good, well done. Now, I wonder this time, can we shout out the words that we use with the actions? Okay, can we give that a go? So John chapter 3 verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son. Very good. I even struggled with that. Let's try that once more. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son. Well done. Very good. So, hope to see you next week. Next week we're going to start learning the second part of this memory verse. So see you all next week. Bye.
John chapter 3 verses 16. So God, who loved the world, that he gave his one and only Son.
With me, God is with me. Yes, he's with me every step. With me, God is with me. Yes, he's with me every step. And I know God is with me every step I go. I know God is with me every step. With you, God is with you. Yes, he's with you every step. With you, God is with you. Yes, he's with you every step. I know God is with you every step you go. I know God is with you every step. And all the love of God is with me every day, every step I take. He will lead me on into his perfect plan, walking hand in hand. With us, God is with us. Yes, he's with us every step. With us, God is with us. Yes, he's with us every step. I know God is with us every step we go. I know God is with us every step. I know the love of God is with me every day, every step I take. He will lead me on into his perfect plan, walking hand in hand. With me, God is with me. Yes, he's with me every step. I know the love of God is with me every day, every step I take. He will lead me on into his perfect plan, walking hand in hand. Every step, every step.
loved the world that he gave his one and only Son,
John.
John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son. John chapter 3 verse 16a.
A miracle is something amazing that only God can do. And Jesus performed many miracles, and we can read about them in the Bible. And you probably know some of them, like when Jesus walked on water, or when Jesus took 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread and fed 5,000 people. But Jesus' very first miracle was when he turned the water into wine at the wedding. You see, weddings lasted for several days, not just one day like they do now. And so it was a bit of a disaster when the wine ran out. But Jesus simply told the servants to get 6 jars and to fill them with water. And then when they tasted that water, it was in fact wine. And Jesus used this miracle to show us God's power. And when the disciples saw what had happened before their own eyes, they knew that Jesus must be God's Son. And so they decided that they would follow him and put their trust in him. And God wants us to follow Jesus and put our trust in Jesus too. Jesus has the power to do amazing things. And I know that I want to put my trust in him, and I want to follow him just like the disciples did all those years ago. Last week, we asked the question, who is God? Who is Jesus? And Joe told us that Jesus is the King of Kings. And this week, when we ask the same question, who is Jesus? Let's think about the wedding and that very first miracle, and remember that Jesus is powerful. And we know this because of what we read in the Bible. Have you put your trust in Jesus as the disciples did? Will you choose to follow him? Let's pray. Dear God, thank you that we can read about Jesus in your book, the Bible. Thank you that Jesus showed us that he is your Son and that he has your power when he performed that very first miracle and turned the water into wine. Help us to have faith in Jesus just as the disciples did. Help us to walk with you every day. Amen. See you next week.